Kilimo cha Paa, kipindi kinachokuelimisha, kukujuza na kukupa mwanga katika kilimo. Kipindi kilichorahisishwa hatua baada ya hatua kwenye safari ya kilimo na biashara. Nia yetu ni kukupa ujuzi kwa njia ya vitendo, haswa kwenye maeneo ya ufugaji, upanzi wa mimea, magonjwa, magugu na hata wadudu. Tunakupa fursa ya kufahamu kilimo kwa kina. Ungana nasi kila siku ya Ijumaa saa 12 jioni katika Kilimo cha Paa, makala yako kwenye runinga uipendayo, Maisha TV.
Good afternoon and welcome to Maisha Live at 1. My name is Rida Chebet Kering. Welcome. Allegations to mend ways and revive the dead NASA coalition faces headwinds after the Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka made a drastic about turn in supporting opposition chief Raila Odinga for the third time. Kalonzo's remarks comes moments after the ANC boss Musalia Mudavadi accused Odinga of mistrust when he failed to honor the 2017 NASA deal by reciprocating support to other core principles. Shana Moga has the details.
The Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka has fired one verbal salvo at both President Uhuru Kenyatta and the opposition leader Raila Odinga over their supposed preferred lineup in the next year's presidential race. Addressing Raila Odinga, the Wiper leader said he will not support him in the 2022 general elections. Kalonzo said he has been humiliated under the NASA outfit together with his core principles and will not consider teaming up again.
Honoring of NASA commitment has not been done. So if you want to try and take us back and you don't want to accept that there's a serious deficiency of trust, how do you expect us to believe you when you say you want to be in a coalition?
The former vice president said he is getting ready for 2022 with the intention of walking away from Raila, whom he said he has deputized twice in 2013 and 2017. Kalonzo said since the last election, he has not discussed 2022 plans with Raila Odinga. He went on to say that he has felt cheated and played by the ODM leader. According to the Wiper leader, supporting Raila in 2022 will make him the most stupid fella on earth. He said at his age, he needs to focus on his political ambitions.
Ukiona vyaelea ujue vimeundwa. Na umesikia vile Raila ameongea hapa. Bado vitu vinaundwa. Na kwa hivyo vitaelea. We have of course NASA, hatuja tupilia mbali NASA. Technically it is there. Kwa hivyo msihofie.
On resuscitating NASA, Kalonzo said the ball is in the court of ODM since it killed the coalition at the Kibra by-election. The former vice president also fired criticism to Deputy President William Ruto for questioning President Uhuru Kenyatta's political allegiance after the president declared he will back a NASA candidate in 2022 general elections. Kalonzo says the only way he will consider working with Raila is when the ODM leader assures the newly formed One Kenya Alliance that he will not be on the ballot. For the first time, Uhuru on Monday challenged the NASA principals to unite to enhance their chances of forming the next government after he retires next year. The declaration knocks off Deputy President William Ruto for Uhuru's succession matrix. The two are not seeing eye to eye, and the president has numerously given signals that he was politically done with Ruto.
How wonderful it is, you know, to see my brother Stephen being flanked by Chap Chap and Nak. It's beautiful. Huh? Because I will assure you, there is no way.
NASA, which unsuccessfully ran against Uhuru in 2017, comprises Raila Odinga (ODM), Kalonzo Musyoka (Wiper), Musalia Mudavadi (ANC), and Ford Kenya's Moses Wetangula. Speaking at State House, Nairobi, where he held talks with elected leaders from the Ukambani region, Uhuru said the unity of the NASA chiefs will determine if they will form the next government.
A country can move forward if leaders are not together. I have done much more than I was able to do even in my first term. Why? Because I have been able to focus myself, working in conjunction with my colleagues, and being able to focus on the development agenda, not the political agenda. It is not about where you are. It is about where we are. And the minute you start talking we, that is the basis of success today and into the future. So please, just as we are here today as we are not here, sijui chap chap anakuja hapa kulia, sijui Wiper wamefanya nini, na hako hapa kusema sijui hawa, mko hapa kwa sababu ya maendeleo ya wananchi wa region ya Ukambani.
Reporting for Maisha TV, I'm Amoga Shane.
And the word in Machakos Governor Alfred Mutua, who is also eyeing State House seat in 2022, claims the inflammatory remarks by President Uhuru Kenyatta and the ODM leader Raila Odinga against DP Ruto are doing no good but catapulting the DP's name to fame. Speaking during a live presser, Mutua asked the Handshake brothers to desist from the king-making acts.
Sababu tukiongea kuhusu Ruto kila wakati anapata hiyo marks ya kuongelewa, kila wakati yuko kwa gazeti, anawekwa kwa gazeti. Na huyo Ruto tunamjua. Tunajua historia yake, tunajua mahali ametoka. Na mimi nimekuja hapa kusema ya kwamba we need better choices in this country, not the ones we have been given all the time. Kwa hivyo naimiza viongozi tuanze kuongea kuhusu uchumi, tuanze kuongea kuhusu pesa, tuanze kuongea mahali tuwapeleka Wakenya. Wakenya wako na njaa. Vijana hapa wameniambia hawajakunywa chai, akina mama duka hapa hakuna biashara, kuna njaa. Na hii ni culture ya handout. Mimi kawaida mimi sipeani handout, sababu hii culture ya handout ndio inawaumiza. Tunataka viongozi wanawapatia hand up. Anakupatia ndoano, unapata samaki. Si samaki wa leo na kesho uko na njaa. Lazima tupindue mafikira yetu, tuone vile tutaendelea na kuhimiza maisha yetu ya Kenya. Na mwisho mimi nataka kuambia hivi watu wangu. Mimi ni kijana, nimezaliwa kwa shida. Nimeishi Makina kule Kibira, nimeishi Kawangware, nikiwa form 2 nikaacha shule kwa sababu ya maskini. Mimi nilinufaika, nikapata scholarship, nikaenda Marekani, nikaenda Australia, nikafanya kazi Dubai, Kibaki akaniona, nikarudi hapa kwa sababu nilikuwa chap chap, msemaji wa serikali, nimekuwa governor muhula wa pili. najua Kenya shida yake nini. Tunaweza kuwa tajiri katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Na ndio mimi niliamua ya kwamba lazima nibadilishe Kenya. Kwa sababu nimeangalia wengine wanaitisha kura, nikauliza wengine ni nini ambacho kipya watatupatia ambacho hawajafanya. Angalia ile kazi tumefanya Machakos.
The National Assembly's Public Investment Committee has formally completed grilling persons and entities of interest implicated the 7.8 billion shillings KEMSA heist. A total of 40 individuals, including suspended senior officers at KEMSA, directors of beneficiary companies, Kenya Revenue Authority's senior staff, and senior Ministry of Health officials, among those that gave testimonials regarding their involvement in the procurement scandals.
And you verbally told people I can be able to supply 20,000 pieces. Miraculously, they give you an indication of what the price should be. Miraculously, you say we cannot be able to supply all of them. Miraculously, they give you a commitment letter, the second commitment letter, and just like that.
Once requested for an internship there once, but I didn't get it.
Okay. So you've never done any business at all with KEMSA?
No.
And do you know on how these business transactions are done at KEMSA?
No, I don't know.
So you walk in and you saw a lady?
Yes.
And the lady told you just provide us a sample?
Yes.
Okay. Now, can you remember, because this one now gives us a very, very vague idea.
The National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi has banned chief administrative secretaries from appearing before the departmental committees to respond to questions on behalf of cabinet secretaries. In what appears to be a departure from his previous ruling, Muturi says lawmakers are facing difficulties in getting satisfactory responses to their questions when the cabinet secretaries decide to delegate their duties to the administrative secretaries.
No, not this. The thing of giving an undertaking is a serious matter, because, and that's why we have a committee on implementation, so that if a cabinet secretary gives an undertaking and it is not done, then our committee on implementation can hold somebody, a substantive office holder, not those others. Now, you notice even our standing orders don't make reference to those people. You are calling them CAS. They have no authority to give an undertaking. In fact, if it is something that where an undertaking is to be given, especially if they are doing it orally, that's now, when they do it orally, that is roadside. It can be, that's the equivalent of a roadside declaration. If it is to be in writing, it must be written, it must be under the signature of the cabinet secretary.
And the Interior CS Fred Matiang'i has warned that the government might restrict movement in some western and Nyanza counties to tame the spread of COVID-19 pandemic. Matiang'i said they are monitoring the trend and will announce the way forward soon. The public and private hospitals in Kisumu County have overstretched their capacities as more cases of COVID-19 emerge.
Managing the containment measures of COVID-19 has been a tough task.
That's the pronouncement from the Interior CS Fred Matiang'i. The CS pushed for tough containment measures to curb the ongoing spiraling COVID-19 infections in Nyanza region.
We challenge the surge in the western part of our country, affecting especially the Nyanza counties and partly western Kenya counties. I know we are up to the task. The National Emergency Response Committee has been meeting regularly.
Addressing the press today on Wednesday, the tough-speaking CS intimated that the situation in Nyanza is being monitored with consultations ongoing for the way forward. He said that the decision will be communicated.
I think by the end of today, we will have a position and we will consult closely amongst ourselves and with the President, and a decision will be made on how we will enhance the containment measures.
He further pointed out that the majority of residents within the Nyanza counties have disregarded the containment measures as directed by the Ministry of Health, hence the spike in cases.
It's now becoming absolutely necessary that we enhance containment measures in the Nyanza counties and in parts of Western Kenya.
For instance, he mentioned that both public and private hospitals in Kisumu have overstretched their capacities, with more cases being recorded daily.
It may lead to us introducing new measures to deal with movement and some of the social activities, all of which are intended to ensure that we manage the spread or the surge of COVID-19.
In the past 2 weeks, Kisumu has been leading in terms of the county distribution in COVID-19 infections. On Saturday, Kisumu County government threatened to take legal action over unclaimed bodies in the mortuaries. The county government revealed that the unclaimed bodies were putting residents at risk amid high COVID-19 infections recorded in the region. Through a statement, the county officials issued a 48-hour ultimatum to all mortuaries to collect unclaimed bodies for disposal. Maisha TV.
The National Council of Churches of Kenya South Rift Chapter wants the planned referendum under the Building Bridges Initiative BAMBA be shelved and priority given to the general election. The clergy have given a raft of recommendations which they say will lead to a credible vote. Let's have a look.
Since the Constitution touches and controls the lives of all Kenyans, the process to amend it is crucial, and all Kenyans must be given adequate time and understanding to effectively participate. For this reason, this regional conference calls upon the promoters of the BBI to postpone the process until after the 2022 general elections. It is not feasible for our nation to hold referendum and a general election within 1 year. Priority should be given to the 2022 general elections. To ensure that the nation is ready and focused on the coming elections, we recommend the following. A, the infrastructure be urgently put in place to facilitate registration of more than 4 million Kenyans who have attained the majority age of from between 2017 to date. That the IBC commences a program of monthly briefings to the nation on the preparations done in readiness for the upcoming general elections. C, that the IBC partners with the churches and other faith institutions to use the congregational structures and forums to deliver an intensive voter education program which avoids last-minute rush.
Only 3 million Kenyans have collected their Huduma number cards. That is the statement by the government spokesperson Cyrus Oguna addressing the press yesterday. Oguna revealed that out of the approximately 5.5 million cards printed by the government, only 3 million have been collected.
Kenyans yet to register for Huduma number cards will soon get a second opportunity to register for the new identity cards.
The first issue that I wish to address very briefly is about Huduma number. We are all aware that the government initiated the rollout of issuance of Huduma number cards to our people, and that exercise has been going on, especially at the sub-county level within the National Registration Bureau offices.
Speaking at a press briefing on Wednesday, government spokesperson Cyrus Oguna said the government will shortly reopen the exercise after completing requisite logistic plans.
For those who might not have been able to register during phase 1 for one reason or another, again we're informing our people that phase 2 of registration is ready for rollout. All logistical matters have been put in place. It will be conducted to the National Registration Bureau, or what we call ID card offices at the sub-county.
At the same time, Oguna asked Kenyans already registered for the cards to collect them upon their receipt notifications.
We received messages that notify us about readiness of our cards to be collected, but many a time we do not necessarily respond to those cards. Sorry, to those messages, the notification. And if you do not respond to that message on your phone, it will be there for 48 hours, then it will disappear. So it is important really for us to be able to respond to the messages once we receive them on our mobile phones.
So far, the government says it has processed 5.3 and 5.5 million Huduma number cards, but only 3 million cards have been collected.
And as of today, we have been able to process between 5.3 million to 5.5 million cards. Collected so far are only 3 million cards. So about 2.5 million cards are yet to be collected by our people. And this is a concern really because these cards belong to us.
Nevertheless, Oguna says the government is improving its system of tracking cards, including moving away from toll-free line to full-fledged digital portal. Additionally, the government is set to roll out an interactive voice response system to boost the tracking of cards by Kenyans.
We want to stay here categorically that Huduma number card is free. There is no payment whatsoever to be given to anyone for you to collect Huduma number card. So I'm requesting members of the press to be able to relay this information.
Huduma number cards are scheduled to replace the current identification cards from 2022. Philip Simiu, Maisha TV.
The country is yet to hear the end of the intention by the IEBC to invoke Section 22 of the IEBC Act that requires each and every aspirant in the 2022 general election to be a holder of at least a bachelor's degree. The latest to join the fray is the Machakos governor, who says that lack of leaders with more than formal education has led to poor quality of legislation. The MCAs have been opposed to the move, saying it subverts the will of the people.
The Chebukati-led electoral governing body IEBC continues to get opposition and support in equal measure after the chair declared all members of parliament must possess not less than a degree to qualify for a member of parliament political slot.
We follow what's in the law.
The latest to throw his weight behind Chebukati's directive is Machakos Governor Alfred Mutua. The second-term governor questioned the mindset of the naysayers against the rule, adding that it is ironical to send your child to school and then elect uneducated leaders to lead them.
Si watu naambiwa somesha mtoto. Sasa kuna haja gani unasomesha mtoto lakini ukienda kuchagua kiongozi unachagua mtu hajasoma? Then why do you take your children to school? It's a contradiction in terms. Watu wasome. Enda rudi shule ufanye degree.
He said that the leaders must be educated to have capacity to interpret complex laws.
Ndiwendo ukachambue, unaulizwa laws of Kenya constitution, you can interpret it. We also need to be serious about work. Fanya kazi. Pesa si ati uongozi. You can have money, but you also need an understanding of the law. The law is not just about being rich. It's very simple. The reason there's a requirement for a degree is because you are interpreting law. Being a legislator requires you to interpret law. And to interpret law, you need to have a basic understanding of English, of legal terms, of world view. You need to be able to read the American Constitution and others to interpret law, and that requires a minimum standard.
The Machakos County boss even made a comparison of an architect who must precisely follow building rules, terming the requirement for the basic education to qualify for election as an applicable way of management.
For you to be a doctor, to be able to go and interpret medical books and operate on somebody, you need to have basic education for you to be able to operate on somebody or to treat somebody. For you to be an engineer, uweze kujenga nyumba, you need a certain set of education that understands the equilibrium of a house, the designs and everything to be an engineer. The same way, to be a legislator, you need a basic education level to understand the legal premises that you are supposed to be doing. Because the work of the legislature is to ensure we have good laws in our country, to support the executive and to hand in hand with the judiciary.
According to IEBC, this law has been postponed several times in the elections calendar and must take effect in the coming year.
The next general election must have a university degree to be able to qualify to run for office.
However, residents of Bungoma town who talked to Maisha TV were equally in support and opposition of the law in tandem.
Tukiangalia kwa undani sana, wengine wao hata wakuhitimu kufika kupata hizo certificate, lakini kwa sababu ya pesa ama maybe mtu ako well up, ameweza kupata ile certificate na ameweza kuingia. Maana hata juzi tuliona kuna mtu ambaye ako katika mbunge ama ako katika hiyo cheo cha juu, lakini hata kuongea Kiingereza ni shida.
Yote ambaye hana degree, sio hana bachelor, asiongoze nje ama asisimame kura. Mimi hiyo napinga, sababu uongozi utoka kwa Mungu. Na wakati ambapo unasema mwenye hajasoma asisimame kura, ni kama kuna hidden message hapo kwamba wale ambao hawajasoma wanafanya kazi mzuri zaidi kuliko wale ambao wamesoma.
Yao wakiwa na degree, bachelor, lakini mimi nataka niseme hivi. Kuna uongozi ambao Mungu tu ndiye anapeana. Kama uongozi ya kulinda nchi, mtu kama president haifai kuchaguliwa kwa misingi yoyote ya masomo.
Hiyo si jambo mbaya, lakini unajua uongozi watu wengi wamesoma. Sasa hiyo imekuwa tu ni njia ya kueliminate watu. Sasa hiyo ni elimination method.
Maisha TV.
And that's all we had for Maisha Live at 1. My name is Rida Tibet. Enjoy your day.